finding your why and how it will change your life.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Well, hello there, and welcome to the Hopefulist. Thank you for joining me for your daily dose of inspiration and positivity. Today's quote of the day comes from, yes, that's right, once again, my favorite badass, Jen Sincero. Doubts, fears, and other people's rules are no match for a heart on a mission. Very much tied into what we are going to be discussing today in the blog post. Been a little bit of a stressful time. We are in the midst of an election, and we are waiting and waiting and waiting some more. It seems that we really won't know the final outcome. I'm guessing tomorrow evening at the earliest. So we have a couple of more days of torture to go through. So as I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, I thought, what's a good way to relieve stress? What do you do to relieve stress? Now, I said a nice long bath, which I really, really have not been partaking in. And I really, really want to start doing that more often. I need a bigger tub, though. I do not like looking down in the tub and seeing my belly stick out. I was discussing this with my niece when we were all in the Outer Banks, and I think I mentioned, she says she takes at least one bath a day, at least one. And I said, I just don't like to see my belly stick out or what have you. I said, I want to get a tub where I can, immerse my whole body, which I'm not in a position to do that right now. And she just merely said, yeah, it's not the most flattering view of yourself. Yeah, very true. Very true. Working out is a great way to get some stress out. I lose myself in a book often. Marcy says, I just went on a long run to burn off some nervous energy. Val says, I like to go for a quiet walk alone. Lynn points out, I think you could legally smoke pot now in New Jersey. Just saying. Yes, that's right. New Jersey did go on and legalize marijuana in the election that took place on Tuesday. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of a wait with regulations and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I'm probably not going to smoke pot. I'm probably not going to do the, what do they call them, the edibles. It's not my thing. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, though. Libby says drink. Kathy agrees with Libby. Michelle says she's watching Hallmark movies. Cheryl says she has no real plan. Me and Cheryl have chatted back and forth a number of times since Election Day. She's got a little shrine to her candidate of choice. Linda says she walks the dog. Kathy says I babysat today and got lost in the world of a 1-year-old. Didn't think of COVID and election all day or look at my phone. Perfect. John says I'm reading a book right now called Honesty. That's how I'm distressing. And Lauren says she takes a bubble bath. So keep all of these things in mind for at least the next day or two. And do what you need to kind of work off the nervous energy you may have when it comes to dealing with this election and how it's still up in the air. And yeah, it's stressful. It's just stressful. I have vowed to watch less news as soon as the election is over. I cannot stop watching right now. In fact, I got up this morning and I turned on the news, and they weren't giving me specific enough information for what's going on in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania is, the big one with a lot of electoral votes left. And, one candidate seemed to have a pretty big lead, but now that's shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And from what I'm hearing, there's still like 1 million ballots to count. And in Pennsylvania, any ballots that come in that were postmarked by Tuesday will be counted, and they have until Friday to get where they need to go. So, like I said, if it comes down to depending on Pennsylvania, we will not know until Friday. There are some factors that could work in and still declare a winner without Pennsylvania. But thus far, that has not been the case. So, I hope you are doing what you can to de-stress and work off that energy and just stay calm. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. So, just stay calm, and we'll see what happens. Blog post for today, finding your why and why it's so important. I've talked about this before. And, finding a why doesn't have to be this major undertaking. It doesn't have to be this big, huge goal. It can be anything that lights your heart on fire. It can be being the best dang grandmother you can possibly be. It can be the most amazing, coolest aunt that it has ever been. Although I have to tell you, that title has been taken by moi. I am the coolest aunt that has ever been. So, sorry, got to find something else. Kidding, of course. There's lots of cool aunts. I don't know why I said it with a British accent all of a sudden. There's lots of cool aunts. Have you seen that commercial on, it's for Geico, when your house is invaded by ants, but they mean like, your aunt, like my Aunt Claire, or she's in the refrigerator. Expired. Okay, squirrel. Oh, jeez. So finding your why. It's so important to have a why when it comes to living a satisfying, fulfilling life. It's what lights you up and sets your heart on fire. It's what has you jumping out of bed in the morning to get to work. Not necessarily your job, but to get to work on your why. It's what has you looking forward to each and every day. It's what will put that smile on your face when you wake up and the feeling of accomplishment when you go to bed. I've been very lucky to work at something I've been passionate about for most of my career. Radio broadcasting has always been exciting to me. I get to talk to people every day and give important information via the news, surveys, what have you. I can have fun-filled topics and deep conversations about what is important in people's lives. It's a position that allows me to be goofy, serious, fun, and even profoundly deep at times. The greatest aspect to me has always been to let others know that they aren't alone, that we so often go through the same problems and issues, and we can help each other in our collective experience. But man, radio is a heartbreaking field. I've been let go from so many positions over the years. I got out altogether at one point, decided to give it another go, to have my heart broken in the worst possible way at my last job. That is when I had an idea that I could still continue doing what I did on the radio via podcast, but on my own terms. And I could focus on it exactly what I wanted to talk about. Not so long before this, I had come to the realization that I had finally started to transform my thinking from negative to positive, and I got really excited about sharing how I went about doing this. As a lifelong pessimist, I was so excited that I was actually able to make the transition, and I wanted to shout out to all the other pessimists that yes, you can change too. When you find that thing, the one you are truly passionate about, you will do whatever it takes to get it done. In my example, it's getting more and more people to listen to this podcast. So please share with your friends. It's also getting the information out in any way I can in order to help people who were like me. What do you think that thing is for you? What is something that you love and can't wait to do? It can be an idea, an activity, a product, a career, service, or anything that will allow you to get to do your why. It can be anything. I mean this literally. Love cats and dogs? Volunteer at a shelter. Do you love to write in long form, short form, maybe even music? Then do it. We have so many outlets now to exhibit our work. Blogs, vlogs, YouTube, podcasts, books, articles, what have you. Maybe you love to knit. You knit things for everyone you know. Maybe you can start an Etsy shop and even sell some things. The possibilities are limitless. If you don't know what your why is, then start experimenting with things. Do you love to read? Maybe you can start doing summaries about your favorite books and offer them to your friends. Or hold discussions online about the books that have spoken to you the most and what you got out of them. Maybe you just discovered running. You wake up every day and can't wait to hit the streets. Great, keep going. Challenge yourself and do 5Ks, half marathons, full marathons. You may find a whole new group of people that share in what your passion is. And your life might go in more exciting directions for you. If you haven't found your why yet, keep it up. Keep experimenting and trying things that tickle your fancy. That's right, tickle your fancy. Keep going until you find something that excites you every time you do it. Life is meant to be enjoyed. So keep trying until you find that thing. There are so many ways to find new interests now. Check out groups on Facebook. Ask some of your friends what their hobbies and interests are. Ask your friends what they think you're good at. Or go back to something you used to love as a child. Give it another go. It's not about being the best. It's about being the best you. The best you possible. And don't think that just because you're a certain age that you won't figure it out. I came up with this idea literally less than 2 years ago to do what I'm doing now. And I truly believe this is my purpose. And I will keep doing this because I know this is what I'm meant to do. Now go on out there and explore. And I am more than happy to help you sift through some ideas if you need some help. Just send me an email through Facebook or IG or at thehopefulist1@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me in a bevy of different ways. And of course, go about your day today as a badass because I'm cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.